Hey, what's up, y'all? Just had a few minutes to do a little video entry, and today I just wanted to talk about volcanoes. Since I've had uh, a little bit of time to think about and talk about the pro-choice, pro-life, the abortion crisis that's happening now in America, and I wanted to talk about something a little different, kind of like along the lines of my old videos where I just kind of think of things. But this is going to be a short video, 5 minutes. So let's see if I can make a couple of points in that time. So my point on volcanoes was it does go along with what's happening in our country right now, because a volcano has viscosity, which is the amount of pressure that, well, I don't know if this is the exact definition, but my understanding of viscosity is when volcano has a certain amount of viscosity, it's destined to explode and or erupt. So viscosity is the amount of pressure put on the volcano before it erupts. Like if you think of Mount St. Helens, leading up to its eruption, it just kind of shook and shook and shook, and then finally blew. Right. So that's my understanding of a volcano. Something else interesting about volcanoes that I didn't know before today, doing a little bit of research on it, was that volcanoes happen when tectonic plates either diverge or converge. So, so it's interesting to think about that. I think about it in the realm of right now what's happening in culture and politics, and I also always think these things are deeply rooted in spiritual issues, which, like, with all my work and all my writing, if atheism is true, then the spiritual discussion is not an option, and it's really hard to make sense out of or draw any connections or parallels or metaphors or meanings or interpretations from any event that is happening or theme, because underlying them there's no definitive root, so everything can kind of be interpreted in many different ways, and that's kind of the postmodern perspective, which has some aspects, I guess, of truth behind it and chaos and order, right? So to a lot of people, volcanoes represent chaos. Mount Doom was a volcano, in Middle Earth, right, in Lord of the Rings, and in The Hobbit, it's kind of a volcano, the Lonely Mountain. It has a dragon residing in it, so it's got a fire-breathing dragon inside this mountain, so it's kind of volcanic. And both of those mountains are destinations of chaos, that even along the way towards the destination, there's series of chaoses in both of those stories where the heroes, Bilbo Baggins and the dwarves, or Frodo Baggins and the Fellowship, travel towards these mountains to meet and overcome the chaos. And that chaos is very real. So it's also a part of them, and a part of the Hobbit. The nature of a Hobbit is to not have courage, and to have that courage. Well, to not innately show courage, but they do have courage living inside of them that it takes, one might say, a prophet like Gandalf to come and show them what's inside them to bring that courage out of them. So that's why I think Lord of the Rings does, and The Hobbit for that matter, do show deep truths within deep psychological realities, and they reveal them through mythologies. And we got to remember those books were written when there was all sorts of chaos going on in the world. Not to say that those were direct symbols of the chaos that was happening at that time, but it's hard to conclude that they didn't have any relationship to the histories that happened at that time. So right now we're living in a moment in America where everybody, the tectonic plates are both converging and diverging. There's a huge division in America, but there's also a huge amount of unity in America that is also causing this explosion of forced unity, a forced compliance, where people who support these things like abortion are saying, you must come together with us, you must unite. And if that happens, there's going to be a certain type of explosion. So, anyways, I promised to keep this under 5 minutes. So just think about those things. I didn't really get to conclude, but God bless. Take care.